You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm josemonkey, and I find people who ask to be found. Guys, I love seeing all the creative ways that you ask me to find you. I've had requests from people in cosplay, people with dogs, and even one request from a dog in cosplay. That was crazy. But I especially love when people get creative with their Find Me signs. So I was pretty excited when I saw today's video. This request came from an account called Lettering by Karen. I was not familiar with this account before I received this video, but I got the sense that it was an account with a fairly large following because I got lots of notifications from you guys tagging me in the comments. Anyway, Karen created this custom Find Me sign and then recorded a video where she wanted me to find her. And I'm happy to oblige. So what can we see? The clip starts showing this outdoor seating area that suggested that this might be some kind of restaurant. I didn't see anything obvious that told me what kind of restaurant it was though. As she turns the camera, we get a look at this nearby road. We can see just the briefest glimpse of a bus that is going down the road. I'll come back to that. We can see that there's a black metal fence here, and beyond that we have another road. In fact, the more I looked at it, I realized that we actually had what looked like two sets of fences here with a strip of land in between. At first I thought maybe it was just like a divider in the middle of a divided road, but we can see that the road that's closer here has yellow lines in the middle and the traffic runs in both directions. So I think it's just a set of parallel roads. We can see some buildings across the street, but nothing that looked too distinctive. We also have some large utility poles which appear to be for electrical transmission lines. And then off in the background we see that there's what appears to be a cellular tower here. Then Karen turns the camera all the way back to the right and shows us some of the same stuff we saw at the beginning of the video. And at that point I noted that we had some other signs here, but they were pretty difficult to read. There's also this one other sign way down the street, but I couldn't see what that said at all. Okay, so you guys know I was going to try to figure out what that bus was. I knew that if I could figure out what kind of bus it was, that would probably narrow things down pretty significantly. But guys, we can barely see it. The bus has already nearly passed the spot where Karen is standing in the video. And between the posts here and the trees and the utility poles, we really don't get a very good look at it. There's really only a few frames that show the bus at all, maybe 15 to 20 frames tops, and many of them are not useful. Fortunately, I was able to pick out a few details from the frames that we had. First, I could see here that we had what appeared to be the letters T and L, and that was followed by a circular shape that looked kind of like a logo of some kind. Also, down here on the side of the bus, we see a lowercase letter A. And I wasn't sure if the TL that we see on the bus was the end of a word or an acronym or an abbreviation or what. One of the first things that came to mind was St. Louis, because I know that sometimes St. Louis is abbreviated as STL, but then I also thought about the fact that Atlanta is often written as ATL. I decided to try Atlanta first, so I just googled ATL bus to see what I'd get. And guys, I very quickly found some images that suggested that that was right, including this one that shows me that the A that I saw was probably the end of the word MARTA. MARTA stands for Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. Okay, I was pretty excited because I had narrowed this down pretty quickly to the Atlanta area, but now I needed to figure out exactly where this was. And guys, MARTA runs hundreds of buses on almost 100 different routes that cover like 1,000 miles. But I knew that the bus routes that I wanted were going to be close to electrical power lines. Also, the route would be fairly close to a cellular tower. So I figured that one way to find this would be to look for all the communication towers that were close to MARTA bus routes and also close to electrical power lines. So I got to work writing some queries to find places that matched those criteria. And that search yielded a bunch of results, and I figured I'd just bring them up and check them one by one. But guys, that's where I hit a snag. Because I looked at pretty much every communications tower in that area that matched those criteria, and I didn't find it anywhere. I figured that meant that I had either really misjudged how far away that tower was, or maybe it just wasn't in the database. I suspected the latter. So I really needed something else I could use to help me find this place. I went back to the video to see if there was anything else I could figure out, if I could find a sign or something on one of the buildings that would help me find something else to search for. And honestly, I didn't have much luck doing that. But as I was looking, I realized that I could actually make out some of the words on this sign here. And after staring at it for a bit, I realized that I thought that what we had here appeared to be the letter N, followed by the word central. I thought maybe that was telling people something about the road that they were turning onto. Like maybe this was North Central Avenue or North Central Street or something like that. So I just started looking for a street in the Atlanta metropolitan area called North Central that was near a MARTA bus route. And I found one right away in Hapeville. That is a suburb that is south of Atlanta. And when I brought it up on the Google Street View, I saw that we had black fences and two parallel roads, just like what we see in the video. In fact, there's actually train tracks running in between those two roads. And while I wasn't sure that I saw train tracks in Karen's video, I figured it was possible. So I just started scanning on the Google Maps 3D view to try to find something that matched. And it wasn't long before I spotted this building, which looks very much like this one from the video. And when I zoomed out a bit, I could see that there was a cell tower here, right where I expected to see one. And guys, that was it. You were at the Chick-fil-A Dwarf House Diner in Hapeville, Georgia. So when I dropped down to the Google Street View to check it out, I realized that this restaurant where Karen was actually a Chick-fil-A. But guys, it was about the fanciest looking Chick-fil-A I had ever seen. I soon learned that this was a place called Dwarf House, which is the birthplace of the original Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich. Founded in 1946, it looked like this up until very recently. But now it's been renovated and is much fancier, and has that nice outdoor seating area that we saw in the video. And of course, I verified the view of the buildings across the street. By the way, in case you're wondering, yes, that cell tower is not in the OpenStreetMap database. So I need to go add that later. Okay, it's time to check which previous location is closest to this one. And this time it was in Season 1, Episode 54, when someone recorded a video driving through Spaghetti Junction in Atlanta and asked people to identify it. That's about 18 miles or 29 kilometers away from this place. Thank you for the fun challenge, Karen, and thank you very much for making that sign. I appreciate all the work that went into it. Guys, don't forget that I will be at NocoCon on June 8th and 9th. You can get more information and find out how to get tickets on my site. And while you're on my site, maybe go check out my store and pick yourself up a cool t-shirt or something. And if anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," or something like that on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.